cure, or diagnose any diseases. I certainly can make your body feel more efficient, and you'll feel better and be more productive and enjoy life because I reduce the symptoms. I have extended my Black Friday special, which is on the Zyto link, which you could do on your phone. It's a 30-second scan. It's a 30-second scan that will scan your body via transdermal optical imaging, and it looks at functional, energetic, and emotional in the areas of your body systems and lifestyle. And it gives you a report with services and products. My Black Friday special is actually, you can buy 5 of them for the price of 4. That's $200, and you're saving $50. And if you move forward with my services, you get a little bit of discount as well. I also am offering, my book, which is the #1 bestseller, called Women Rising. It is a collaboration of 15 women that wrote their transformational stories, and you can purchase the book for $20 or a signed copy for $25. And you can get this at my link tree, which is at https://www.debichangeslives.com/linktree. Both the Zyto scans and the book, you can go to my link tree, and you can pick the appointment for the Zyto scans, and you pick email. Yeah, for the Zyto scans, and you pick the email portion to order the book. And I don't want you to forget about my Beach Reveal retreat, where I created a 6-month weight release program, where it starts on March 1st of 2024. That is dovetailed into you writing your transformational story at a retreat in Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. And you can find out more details about the Beach Reveal retreat at www.//bit.ly, bit.ly, which is all lowercase, /beach reveal show. And each word is capitalized. The B in beach, R in reveal, and show is capitalized. You can always ask me questions about it by emailing me at my link tree about this and get more information. And this is a season for gift giving. So either you can do that Black Friday special that ends on December 31st of 2024. And the other things I offered about the Beach Reveal retreat, and as well as the book, because you can actually, the transformational stories of other people may help somebody. But today I'm shining a light on memory keeping. And I started memory keeping because I was taking care of a baby and an ailing mother. And being a creative soul, scrapbooking was a great outlet. It uplifted my spirits during challenging times. And I started with papercraft scrapbooking, and then incorporated digital scrapbooking because I did mixed media projects. I even won a first place ribbon for an acrylic album I did at a local county fair. My sister-in-law admired my work and said I should start a business. So I did. I started a papercraft scrapbooking business, and later did a digital scrapbooking business when I came across Candy May and Lisa Nelson. My passion was to capture people's stories, and I did that, and also captured things from my family. I created Christmas cards, and it was a photo and a Christmas card that was a trigger to my weight release. I cried. My husband saw my tears and gave me a gift of health for Christmas. It was a keto program. I initially lost 50 pounds, but I was dead tired with no energy, so I went on to maintenance. Later, I came across a new supplement program that gave me natural energy, where I started to stay up to 10 p.m. And it made me feel better, as well as I became a half marathon runner when I never ran my whole entire life due to foot problems. I released a total of 70 pounds, and I've kept it off for over a decade. I still do digital scrapbooking. for my family, and I did the Christmas cards, as well as I created a transformational poster on my weight loss success. And I also create vision boards with the platform every year. And with new clients, I have them vision a new version of themselves so they can create their own board. So I put those photos to good use. So I am excited to introduce to you today Lisa Nelson and Candy May, who took an idea for a new business and it became a career. So Candy, May, and Lisa, let's see ya.
Hi, everyone. Hi, Debbie. So good to see you.
Good to see you.
Hey, and I love what you were talking about. I love the Zyto scanner, and I just love hearing your story about your weight release, and you are just really a knowledgeable source for that. So I love working with you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Well, that became my passion as well, you know? And I brought you aboard because memory keeping is so important, in my opinion, because it uplifts our spirits, it boosts our morale, like I said before. And it's really interesting. 90% of businesses fail. And Candy, you came up with a concept of capturing stories and made it into a full-fledged business. How do you set this business apart from others?
Well, thank you for asking about that. I feel very blessed. Like you said, most businesses fail, and I feel super blessed to have spent the last 20 years being a stay-at-home mom, but bringing in a full-time income, matching my husband's, who's a physical therapist. And that's no small feat. And it's like a dream come true. So I'm super grateful. But I think the reason is for some of the reasons you've mentioned, Debbie, I just love the first time you talked about how you made that Christmas card digitally and sent that out. And when you looked at it, you just cried. And I love that you took action. You weren't a victim and you took action, but the card was a catalyst. And, we sometimes see pictures of ourselves and it can be a force of good or it can be a force of change. And I like how Debi Changes Lives. And I love when I listen to your intro, how you use vision boards and story to help change lives. And I've got a master's degree and I did my master's on story and how through story we learn best. And so I'm really excited about your retreat. I think that's going to be fantastic and how you're incorporating story. And story is what sets us apart. We grew a team of women of around 5,000 women joined our team. And it's all because they saw, well, I'll reach over here. They saw a book that I did about my grandfather. It started actually not all pretty like this. It was actually just before we had digital, before we had even dial-up internet, I made a book about him so that my someday children would know who he is. My grandpa died when my children were very young, but they all, now this little guy is 24, he knows my grandfather, who's one of my heroes. And you might think, oh, he must have done amazing things. Well, Debbie, he didn't. He's just an average grandfather. But to me, he was special. And so as I told this story to women and how I made this little paper copy that was on my coffee table, women were attracted to this because I think we all have someone we admire and love that we want never, ever to be forgotten. And so I know that's how Lisa came on board. And many of our top women that joined our company, they said, I have a grandmother that was so special to me, and I want my children to know her. So that's really what set us apart in the beginning. And then, of course, other companies came along. I remember, Debbie, just if I may tell you that one of our stories, when Lisa and I started the business with my mother, and she said, she gave us all duties. Lisa's like the businesswoman, and I'm the one that was supposed to do the creating and getting the book in people's hands. And so I went to a publisher and I said, okay, how much would it cost to do a book like this? And I handed them my little paper copy. And they said, well, how many copies would you like of it? And I said, I'd like one. And they laughed at me, Debbie. They said, I'm going to tell you right now, that is never going to happen. And I'm like, well, what if it did happen? How much would it cost to get one copy? And they said, $500. And I came back to my meeting with Lisa and my mother, and I was just defeated. I thought, they said it can't be done. And Lisa and my mom, they're like, no, it can be done. and we figured it out a way. We're all educated as teachers, and we all gave up our professions to just do this full time because we had a mission inside of us to help people know the people that maybe have passed away or that matter most to us, and help little children know these great heroes in our own families.
That's wonderful. And with any business, you have growing pains, but you figured it out along the way and made it so much better with every phase of the programs that you came up with. And it was on digital. It was all digital online.
Yeah, and you're right. There are so many growing pains. You just one advice I'd have for women in business is just never give up. The next opportunity might be just around the corner, and you don't want to give up right before the things happen for you. So, for example, our first client said, "Okay, great, I want to do it. So, how do you do it?" And we're like, "Well, do you have a computer?" And they're like, "Yes." Like, "Do you have internet?" Like that was kind of foreign to them. Like they are like, no. So now it's so normal. We can make books on our phone now with our company Y-Photo. But back then we had like DSL. Many of you might not even know, if you're under the age of 35, you might not know what DSL is. And that's where it made this crazy noise, and it took forever for anything to come up, and it cost a fortune. Now we have it all on our phones. So a lot's happened in 25 years.
Yeah, I mean, gosh, you can do this transdermal optical imaging on your phone too. It only takes 30 seconds. It's just amazing. Now, Lisa, Candy mentioned that you came aboard. So what, that is a significant leap to, quit your job. How did this happen?
Well, I was teaching school. I'd been teaching for about 7 years, and I just was sort of feeling like there was something different out there for me. And I don't know if any of you have ever had that feeling where you're just like, you're happy, but it's just like, just something was kind of stirring in my mind. And I always knew I loved business. My dad was a businessman, and he really taught me a lot of business skills that I just really followed, or was wanting to follow his example in so many ways, but didn't have the opportunity. So I was actually talking to different people. My sister knew that I was in the search for something new. And she'd heard from Candy that Candy was starting this business and told me the concept of it. And I just instantly jumped in. I was like, that's exactly what I want to do. I love the concept. This was so many years ago that this was really unheard of. And so what I did is I sort of saved a little money. And, I always say you got to follow your heart, but you also have to be smart. So don't just like take a leap of faith without sort of, making sure that things are going to be fine, and you're not going to have to like rely on other people for their resources and everything just because you were sort of following your heart. So I saved a little money, and I just said, I'm just going to come, and I'm going to, Candy, I'm going to do whatever you don't need to do so that you can focus on, what you really are an expert in. I'll do the shipping. I'll do whatever. I'll work in your garage. You're out of your garage. No more garage for Candy. So that's where I started, and soon meshed into other aspects of the business. But, I knew after my year leave of absence, I knew the amount of money that I then would need to make if I were to continue, just quit teaching school altogether. And I had a plan. I made a plan, and I knew exactly the actions, exactly the type of steps that I needed to make. And I did it. And I've never looked back. I've far surpassed my teaching income from this business for, many, many years now. So work hard, follow your heart, be smart. And, Candy mentioned just not quitting. One of the reasons that when I heard Candy was starting this business with her mom, I knew these ladies had vision and tenacity, and that they wouldn't take no for an answer, and that they would figure out how to get things done. And, when you have a chance to partner with people like that, you don't turn down that opportunity, because that's really where the success is.
Yes, it is. And you guys had so much courage to do all that, and you just figured it out as you went along. I guess I remember seeing a picture of the first shipment. How many books was that? Do you remember?
I don't know.
Okay.
No, we would ship out. So we would we'd do a book, and then people would often do a reorder because they would love it so much, and then they'd want a copy for all their family. I think the most we've ever had was like someone ordered hundreds of them, and usually it's like 3, 4, 5, 10 books that they get so that they can pass them around to the family and give one to each child. So that's exciting. But we have expanded so much more from books. Like you said, what made us different was this intentional heritage. That's what we call it. It's like being intentional about your heritage so that your children and grandchildren can know what's really important to you. And that's really powerful. And like you are all about health and a holistic framework, it does something to us in such a positive way. And I've experienced it with you can see my little family behind me. They've just had a really healthy childhood. And I wonder if I can attribute it somewhat to connecting them to their roots and showing them the strength of their grandparents. So anyways, that is what differentiates us. But we do have a lot of very exciting projects and products that can connect us on so many other different ways with ease and fun.
Yeah. I'm sorry, Lisa, go ahead.
Oh, I love intentional heritage. And I think that's so important. I have a daughter who's 22, and her grandparents are here right now. And when they got here, they wanted to give us a Christmas present early. And so what it was a book full of journal entries, kind of condensed over the years from my grandpa's journal, my husband's father's journal, and also his mother's journal. And our daughter she just eats that up. She just loves that. And so she could hardly get enough of reading the book. So she just dove right into that book. But yesterday, my mother-in-law just said, "Come here, I want to show you something." Well, my daughter had sent her a text just thanking them for the work that they put into the book, and also for the example that they set. And, I think so in kids these days, in the lives of our kids, it's really hard to know their identity. But knowing like who their ancestors are, who their grandparents are, who their parents are, the values that they have really helps them define the type of person that they want to be. So it's just really neat to see that text from, a 21-year-old girl. Sorry, she's my stepdaughter, and I'm not good at math, so I can never remember exactly. But it was really touching to see the impact that made on her life. And when we were first getting started, my grandmother, I became their stepmom when she was 5, but when my grandmother met her for the first time, it was a meeting that was so simple because I'd already been reading my grandmother's life story in a book format similar to Candy's to her for, the weeks prior. So she just sat right on my grandma's knee and just snuggled right up and was really comfortable.
Did you think your grandma was kind of a movie star? Like, she's like, "You're the one in the book." Like, celebrity? Yeah. I want to show your audience a little bit what we're talking about, and then we can move on to some other products. But this is my grandfather's book I was showing, but I wanted to just go through briefly what it's about. It starts off with his heritage. They're given the opportunity to share about the people they love. So these are my great-great-grandparents that I would never know. And he shares about his admiration. And it goes through what he liked to do in school. He loved mathematics, but had to quit early because he had to work on the farm. And then he wanted to go off to the big city, and he became a barber. He married my grandmother. He found success in business. He became a big businessman. Then he had a family and children and grandchildren. And on the last page, we say, "Grandpa, what advice do you have for someone like me?" And I just want to share it. It says, "The advice I have for all my great-grandchildren is to always love your family. Respect those older than yourself. Give money to those that have need. Always pay your bills." What a novel concept these days, right? "Give money to those that have less. Do not lie or steal. I have found you will have better luck if you live this way." So my little kids, they can rattle that off, and they know what matters to my grandfather, and in effect, what matters to me and our roots. So,
yeah, that is really, it's a foundation you guys really built. Truly a foundation that has deep roots, and they learned about the deep roots. So,
and we'll never stray away from that original mission. That's where my heart is. That's where I'll finish my career, is helping people tell stories. I go into veteran homes now. I go into nursing homes where people are forgotten. People sit there. They don't have their health, Debbie. They're on a million medications, and their families don't visit very often. And we go in there, and with the help of sponsors, we go in and tell their stories. So that's a separate kind of thing I do, because this will never die. And I use Y Photo to publish those stories.
Yeah, it uplifts their spirits and makes them feel so special. So
Yeah.
it's a wonderful service. And, getting to things got easier, because we have live photo and you can actually do it from your phone if you need to. Um, can you share some of your favorite projects that uplift people's
Yes.
spirits
Yes.
and inspire them?
I love that. This is my favorite part. I will go quickly, so it's not going to be boring. I'm going to just share you some of my favorite projects and some that I've just done recently. So my husband and I had our 20th anniversary. So I do every year I do a Christmas tree ornament, and so I do this for the children. But this is just one of our 20th anniversaries. So easy, takes 1 minute. My daughter just got married, so some of these will be focused around her wedding. So this is a metal. Metal print. Thank you. Picked my favorite picture. This one's for me, but I wanted to show you some of the fun sizes. Here's a big one that we could hang up. It just brings the color out amazingly. So for wedding gifts, what I do is I give them a metal print. And what I do is they actually just get a card on the day of their wedding and it says, send me your favorite wedding picture. I have a special surprise for you. So then they send me their wedding picture via text or email. And I pop this into iPhoto and have it direct shipped to them. And I tell you, these 20-something-year-olds say this is their favorite gift. And so for them to say that is amazing to me. So I do a nice big one for them. This one's for Grandpa, so that you can have, feel like he was at the wedding. He wasn't able to be there because of his health. Sometimes I think my mom's got no wall space left in her house. So I made her one that is an acrylic. So this is you set it on your desk. So this would be really pretty for awards. This would be really pretty for a dream board or an I am statement too. And it could be just sitting on your office desk. I love this. Yeah.
I do.
Speaking of quick and easy, for my mother, she loves to travel. And this is a blanket and it's so soft on this side and so like velvety on this side. And there she is with my daughter.
Detail. It turned out really nice.
Would never guess how old this woman is. But I'll just tell you, I'm 50-something. So
Okay.
It's a beautiful blanket. And I just want her to take it when she travels and cuddle up in it and know how much she's loved.
Yeah, she said that her mom's older than her. She's 50. So, and I love that detail.
Isn't it gorgeous? It's so beautiful. This is one of my favorite ways to decorate for Christmas. So you take old photos. This is my husband. He was born in Canada. And this is his very favorite Christmas because he got these hockey pads. And so you take an old picture and you can give this as the greatest gift. There is not a dry eye in the room at Christmas time when you do this because they've forgotten this photo and you bring it back to life and those memories come flooding in. It is the most beautiful moment. Connecting with people through our Christmas cards, like Debbie mentioned. This is just an example of a card. But we also have this really neat set where you choose 20 photos and it comes with a box with these little things, these little wood blocks, and you stick it in there. And so you can place these all around the house and then you could swap them out when it's summertime or whatever season, or you could put your favorite quotes or inspirational things. And because you get 20 images and 4 blocks, you can put them all over the home and change them. I even thought these blocks would be darling to set your favorite Christmas cards of people that send you cards around the house because you're always like.
And then when they come to visit, you can pull theirs out to the front, right? Candy, when you come
No,
on.
how did you know my secret? Okay, I just have one more. I think I just pulled about 9. So this is probably the thing I do every single year, and I highly recommend it. You know how you take photos all year? Like we were in California, and we won a big baseball tournament with my son. And you wonder, what am I going to do with these photos? Like, look at this one. Like, this one is the cutest thing I've ever seen, right? And you're like, where am I going to showcase this? Because people don't print pictures anymore. They just have them on their Facebook. Nothing wrong with that. They have them on Instagram. They have them on their phone. They're scared they're going to lose them. So one solution I've done for years and years, decades, I've done a family album digitally. So I just you do have to invest a little time. And so for your listeners, I would recommend, just like you have to spend time exercising, preparing nice meals, spending time with your children to have success in your life, time with your business, time with your spouse, you do have to spend time with your memories. And so for very little investment, but some time, I do pop pictures in, and Y Photos made it so easy. And this is January, and it goes through the whole year with those photos I never want to forget, showing all the fun things, proving I was a fantastic mom, hiking with them and biking with them and playing with them and going on the lake with them. It's so fun. But on the very last page, I really like this. I put our family top 10 list. And this is where I encourage the family to share what's the best 10 things that have happened to us this year or that we've learned from. And we all contribute. And there are things like, my daughter, Gabby, wrote a full novel and self-published it. So that was huge that year. We won the state baseball.
Tell about the mug that you created when she was a little girl.
Okay, so my daughter is a published author. She wrote a book called Man Made, and it's for sale on Amazon. I wasn't going to promote it, but her name is Gabricia May, and it's about AI taking over the world. It's a darling book for teens, preteens, and even ourselves.
People who want to know what AI is, right?
Yeah. And it's sort of Hunger Games-ish feeling book. It's really good. But when she was a little girl, and I forgot to bring the mug, in my kitchen cabinet, there is a mug that says, "Someday I will be a published author." I kid you not. She was in 4th grade. I made actually mugs for every single child in the classroom. I interviewed them all and said, "What do you want for your future?" And Gabby said, "I want to be a published author." 4th grade. And she's 16 years old when she became and made that happen. And she's a published author. And it's fantastic. So remember that name. She's going to be the real deal.
Wow.
That's wonderful. Lisa, is you anything else you want to say on this topic? Because I can ask the next question.
Well, just because it's fresh, I was just talking to my mom before the call, and she said, "Now, are you going to do calendars this year?" Again, that's just been a tradition that we've done, and the family has just gotten used to it. She says, "Because it really helps me remember all the birthdays." And so in the past, what I've done with my aunt is we've made calendars and we've taken photos and we've sort of mocked the people in the photos, like maybe not necessarily mocked, but like come up with a phrase, and it's usually my aunt that's funny, that draws from the pictures and just makes people laugh. She loves to like make people laugh. And so we've done that every year for, I don't know, 20 years or so. But this year, just while you were talking, Candy, just as we've been talking today, I thought I want to do something a little bit different this year with the calendar. I want to sort of draw out like family values. Like, what are some things that we value as Nelsons? And so maybe each page I'll show, good food, I guess, as a sample.
Healthy food.
Yeah. And just put the pictures that are connected to that on there. So I don't know. I just thought I'll mix it up a little bit this year and do something a little different. And I'm excited.
We did that after our family reunion, and we said, "What does it mean to be a Gib?" That's my maiden name. And then we asked the kids, and they would say hardworking. They'd say, "Give it your best." And so we put that all compiled into a book with the pictures from the family reunion. The ideas are endless. And I love that, Lisa. And she's bringing it back full circle. We want to be intentional about our heritage. And again, full circle, Debbie, that is what makes us different. And then Debbie being a model of being intentional about looking at that photo of her, not liking it, and making change. And I love that you put in the title of your business the word change, because that is phenomenal. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. Just like you guys, I make calendars for our parents when they were alive, and it did help with memory for the dates of birthdays. I've also made recipe books. That was another great thing I did to treasure, the recipes of our family. So those are great books. And then I've made soccer books and baseball books for teams. I did a lot of stuff. So
Can I ask you, do you regret any time or minute that you've spent doing those things?
No, I enjoyed it because for me, it's a creative outlet that just inspires me and uplifts me. It's
You
a way
never
of
regret it. No one's ever going to throw this away.
Mm-hmm.
It's a gift these gifts that I showed you, no one's going to throw them away. You can't. I can't even
No.
throw away personalized holiday cards, because they're so personal to the people and they matter so much. So like you said, the investment is well worth it of just a little time. And Why Photo has taken it and made it so easy. you can literally, I remember my daughter was invited to a birthday party and we forgot to get a gift. And I sat there and I'm like, oh no, that's coming up like next week. What should we get her? And I was sitting at breakfast at a restaurant and my daughter texted me a picture of her and her best friend. And I made it into a puzzle with our company in under 3 minutes, had it shipping to our house, and it's done deal. There's mugs, there's
Wow.
sorts of fun things, puzzles, coasters for, you could do so many cute things for pets. Even a lot of people enjoy using the pictures of their pets. I thought this blanket could be a darling pet blanket. You know how your dogs like to sit on your couch?
Mm-hmm.
Don't want them to sit. Wouldn't that be neat? So then put a picture of the dog and say, "This is your spot."
His favorite foods are
Or a cat.
Yes.
for animals that he likes. I could put some pictures of this.
Oh my gosh, we have pet collars. I forgot. There's some new products that just were released. And so I made my 2 little French bulldogs these collars with their names on it. You can put photos. You can make it whatever color you want. Mine were at October and they're orange. My kids are like, oh, you have to do Christmas ones like right now. They need Christmas collars. So fun. They
I
have
need to do that for my dog real quick. Christmas collar.
a Christmas collar and a dog. You could do their a drinking bowl dish or a food dish.
I'm making a list. You're
Pet level, right?
lots to do now.
Yeah, a lot of ideas. You know, one thing that's really important with all this stuff, because it does help your mindset, just the writing process for me, writing my chapter in my book, Women Rising, it was so therapeutic. So Lisa, I wanted to ask you, what are the benefits of the writing process?
Well, you mentioned that it's a creative outlet for you, and I was just thinking too, it can be a really good like emotional outlet, or something that really helps relieve stress. I like to write. A lot of members of my family like to write, and I don't know if you've ever had an experience where you've written a lengthy, heated letter to someone that told them everything you were thinking about this new policy or this change or whatever happened in the community. My dad used to do that. Actually, he used to make my mom do that for him, but getting everything out there, really great process. And then you've let it sit for a day or two, and then you've come back to it and you've said, okay, here are my points. I can scale it down, tone it down, condense it, and this is the final version. Well, the process of getting all of that out and on paper and like releasing it from you internally is a really healthy process, because, just helps you sort of acknowledge and admit and identify and think things through. And that's a really healthy process. But so is taking that and condensing it into something that you want to share with others in a positive way. And so, you're the author of your book. If you write a life story, or if you write, anything that you write is you. It's up to you, whatever you put in that. And so, you get to choose how you present your story. And I think that that's really important. So get it all out there. It doesn't mean everything has to come in the books. In fact, we encourage that in these books, they actually are pretty short, right? Because you want your books to be something that are read, and people don't, especially in today's society, they don't tend to read, really lengthy novels unless they have a big chunk of time. And so we call them coffee table books. We like them to be read in one sitting. You sit down on a couch, pick up the book, read the life story. So that's what you're putting in. You're putting in a snapshot of someone's life, and the end result is exactly what you want it to be. So if you have stories from your past that you're not proud of, write it down initially, delete it, and submit what
or reframe it, right?
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite questions.
As a learning lesson, right?
Well, one of my favorite questions.
What did you learn from that? Not everyone's. What did you learn from that experience that you had? So it's good for the next generations to see that, my grandma struggled with this too, or my mom struggled with this too. And this is what she did. This is what it taught her. And this is how she dealt with it after.
Lisa, I'm so glad you brought that up, because that is when we can deep dive and talk about the things where we were at our bottom or the pit and how we dug ourselves up. That is what often the elderly do not like to share. In fact, I once interviewed this woman that was 94 years old, and I presented her book, and she started telling me some horrible story about how she had this health issue and how she overcame it, about having many miscarriages. And I said, why, Irene, did you not tell me that? And she couldn't at the time. But after she saw the finished book, she wished she had, because she saw how important the process is. So I love what Lisa said. Write it once, take a look at it, look at the thing you don't want to share maybe, and see how you can reframe it to make someone or yourself the hero of the story, because you are the hero. No matter what you've gone through in your life, whether it's a health challenge that you've overcome, making a change like Debbie did. Like, Debbie, you're a hero. I'll never forget that time when you shared keto. And to me, I'd never heard the word keto before. And she lost 50 pounds. And I thought, I'm going to give that a try. And it worked. And it didn't stop her.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what if you were too embarrassed to share that, right? So we should look at what Lisa said and say, what is a hard thing? And how can I reframe that so I can use it to be intentional to help my children, grandchildren, and great-grandchildren someday?
Yeah, and with the invention of the QR code, and if you have storage on your Google Drive, you can actually record audio that will play while you read that book. So something that you can add to those books. It's a nice little dimension. Sometimes when you have sensory things coming from different directions, it really sinks in. So,
well, why not take advantage of the technology today? It's wonderful.
Yeah, yeah. So, we have, actually shared a lot about the different products, and that you really drove it in, the importance of memory keeping, being a foundation, the roots for the family, as well as, helping people, inspire people to do things. Like your daughter became an author, and really became an author really young in life. So, but you also pointed out, it's really not that time consuming. You just need to carve out a few minutes a day, maybe like a half hour.
A half hour a week, you know what I mean? A half hour a week can make a huge difference.
And I think people that's very doable. Yeah.
Take Sundays, right? Take Sundays or whatever day you don't have your regular routine on, and just spend a little bit of time every Sunday, and make that a priority.
Yeah, because it's going to be so uplifting for you, because you're going to be so happy about what you're doing. So
there's so much depression in the world today, and I'm sorry, but whenever I'm depressed, if I open up a book like this and look at these pictures, I am reminded of my blessings and the good things in my life. And maybe I wasn't the perfect weight there, but that's okay, right? I was happy in that moment, and it inspires me to move forward and to not give up and to search around that next corner, because it's brighter sometimes just a little further down the road. And these books remind us of that, and they remind us of the heart and soul of our family and where we've come from, like Lisa was talking about. And it'll inspire our children as we are intentional about our heritage. I hope your listeners understand that is pretty much our little nugget that we want to give to them. And I love that you said, carve out a smidge of time, because just like anything, I'm not going to pretend all of this stuff didn't take a tiny bit of effort. It did, but it's worth it. I promise.
It's worth it because it boosts your mindset, and you're thinking about good things. If you can, women think 85,000 thoughts a day. Men think 60,000 thoughts a day, and 90% of it's negative. So if you are doing a project like this and it's positive, you're outnumbering those thoughts. So
it's so true. You're right. And as I was telling you about the Christmas canvas, maybe there's hard things in your family and stuff, but when you pull up these old pictures, you remember the good times, and you connect again with love, even if things aren't perfect today. They were good back then, and they can be good again.
And they can be good again.
Yeah.
So, do you have an offer from YPhoto that you can give to my audience?
Yes. Please look at the link that Debbie gives you and go to YPhoto and enjoy 20% off in December. So any project you want, 20% off. It's so great when you check out and you see the 20% off deal that we have going on special in December just for you. You'll want to order your projects before about December 10th so that you get them in time. So you have, 10 or so days. And then they'll come, and you can give the best gifts you've ever given, and you'll see the smiles. And if you don't get them done in the next 10 days and have them in your hands for Christmas, that's okay. My favorite time of the year to do projects is between Christmas and New Year's. And I love to reflect on the year past, put those pictures in my family album or on the wall or in, whatever I want to do. Like Lisa was talking, even a calendar or Christmas ornaments for next year, whatever it might be. And you remember and reflect, and maybe just like Debbie did, put a picture and say, I'm going to make a change this year. And, maybe put a New Year's resolution in a written form. As Lisa said, writing changes things too.
And create a vision board too. I mean,
yeah, vision board.
Now,
take some time over the holiday to talk to a parent or a grandparent and someone that you've learned from over the generations or the years that you've known them, and learn more about their past and their history, and encourage them to write down snapshots of their life if they haven't done that.
That's a great idea. Now, could you go over exactly what the products are on YPhoto really quickly? I know there's canvases, right?
Yes, canvases, metal prints. I'm not going to be able to get them perfectly.
A lot of books, a lot of different sizes of books.
All different sizes of books. We have a lot of gift products like we talked about for the dogs, the blankets, the coasters, the puzzles. Just go in there and explore. You'll have so much fun. We have the calendars.
And the ornaments are great. I make it every time I go on vacation. I make a family ornament.
Oh, there's also business things. So, for example, my girlfriend just opened a salon in her home, and for a gift, I made her a big yard sign that says Sansi Salon, waxing, facials, and she put that right in her front yard. And it was
it's a lawn poster.
A lawn sign.
Yeah. Well, that's
do Debi Changes Lives right outside your.
Exactly.
Come on in. Debbie's a gift idea for Debbie.
Well, that's wonderful. Well, I'm definitely going to share this with my audience. And if my audience wants to capture their family memories, their stories, it's going to not only be a treasure for family members in the future, but it also boosts the morale for that person that you wrote the story about. And it'll inspire others to be like them. So that's exactly what Candy was talking about, what Lisa was talking about. So that's a great family treasure gift that you can give. And you would go to this website, which is https://bit.ly is lowercase bit.ly/inspired with a capital I, and the rest of the letters are NSPIRED, memories with a capital M, and the other letters are lowercase MEORIES. So only the beginning letters of those words are in capital. And I'm here. You can email me with questions, and I can do a little Zoom meeting to show you how to do it. It would be such a fun gift to give something personal this holiday season to your family members, and they will treasure it. My mother-in-law treasured everything I made for her before she passed away.
Aww.
So, and I personally, didn't think I could write a book, and but it's amazing how it all comes out in the wash, and that's how I, became part of the Rising Women book, which was the #1 Amazon bestseller with 25 women total doing their transformational stories. This could be another great gift for you, because there might be a story in here that someone can relate to, and they realize how they can better their lives. You can get a papergraph version of it for $20. If you want it signed, it's $25. And you need to email me at my link tree, which is https://www.debichangeslives. I spell my name DEBI, and changes is plural at CHANGES, lives, LIV as in Victor, ES.com /link tree. And the video people can see that it's all in lowercase. And that might be very helpful for somebody. And from that same link tree, I have an email button, but I also have an appointment button where you can have a complimentary consultation, either for health, mindset, or both, where we get to know each other, and I get to know you and see what you need. And also on that link tree, which, was up there a second ago, is that Zyto link. And there's 2 different services I have on this appointment page. You're going to see my services. One is the Zyto link that you do on your phone. And it's a transdermal, which means your face, optical imaging app that you do on your phone. It takes about 30 seconds. It'll scan your whole entire body and give you a holistic picture based on the energetic, functional, and also emotional that it's found in different body systems and lifestyles that you have. And it'll give you a report of services and products. And my Black Friday special is on the Zyto link, where you can get a package of 5 scans for the price of 4, which is $200. You're saving $50. And like I said earlier, you can actually, if you move forward with the services with me, we'll give you a little bit of a discount on the services. So that's a great gift of health that you can give. And another thing that you can do as well is you can give yourself a gift of health. And remember that Zyto link offer ends on December 31st. And by doing the gift of health is the Beach Reveal Retreat, which you have a 6-month program of weight release that's tied in with you writing your own story in a chapter of a book, just like this book here. And you can do this in a retreat center in Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. It includes the cost of my coaching services, the writing services, guiding you how to write the book, the retreat center, food and accommodations, and the publishing of the book. And they give you marketing ideas on how you can market your book. And you need to sign up by March 1st of 2024. It is $3,997. But there is a payment plan, and well worth it, because you'll be celebrating your transformation and you'll be feeling so much better and having so much fun in Puerto Vallarta. And during your weight loss journey, I can actually help you with ideas for you to remember. And if you do sign up, then you want to save the date of the retreat, which is November 6th to the 13th of 2024. And if you want to see more details on that, you can go to https://bit.ly/beach reveal show. The B in beach, the R in reveal, and S in show is where you can see that to get more details. And you're welcome to email me with questions and with your interest at that link. Finally, you can subscribe to my newsletter, where you'll get updates on my promos, events, and upcoming shows, which is on https://bit.ly/radio TV show. That's all in lowercase. And as a gift, I'm giving you a 30-day health and mindset journal that you can track your health and your mindset. So you can track your emotions and your thoughts and how you feel that day, the foods that you eat, the water you drink, and the exercise. And you can review it and really see what works for you. So you get this free 30-day health and mindset daily action journal from me once you sign up for my newsletter. I'm sure you found this show educational and inspiring, and you enjoy it. So continue to enjoy my radio and TV show on Thursdays at 3 p.m., 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific, where your holistic journey begins.